Chris said that he thought that you were dumb because you listened to things.
I've never liked My Chemical Romance.
Howdy roundabout, all you shaggy goose egg boys, and welcome to another very special episode of today, the podcast where we do cause you to think about it, and they go, oh, think about it.
Hey.
Where we look at movies that are dumb but smart.
That was borderline racist.
Unless they're dumb. What was?
Wait, the opening. You'll see.
It's only... If anybody's racist, it's... But yeah, if you look, we have another new setup, and that's because we have a friend joining us, Sam Thigpen. You can tell that he's not usually on the podcast because he doesn't have a laptop in front of him.
There you go.
Boop, 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 boop.
Beep boop.
Like how in 1950s, like they're like, yes, the
What is that?
big like technology stuff. Everything will go boop 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 boop.
I think you should mean boop 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 boop.
Like who
Why are you guys talking like Janae?
No, I think you mean skibbity bop.
Skibbity bop.
Skibbity bop. Hey, you know, Janae, much love.
Much love.
And
Congratulations.
on graduation, which happened like several weeks ago.
Is the name of
Several
our
weeks
series
ago.
now.
It happened just this weekend.
It is graduation.
Mm-hmm.
This is being released later after Christmas.
Oh, cut that.
What are we doing today, boys? Oh, timeout.
Killer sofa.
Timeout. I know we say this every time, but I really mean it this time. This is our last semester in college, and we really need that financial help before we go into big boy world. Except he's already graduated. He has a real job. He has salary.
Are you sure
So
I'm
it's
not
pretty
cut
cool.
off? Yes. Okay.
So
What do you think I am?
we need it. We need the likes. We need the subscription. We need the follows. We need the rates. Please, for the love of dear God, follow Al Pacino's Prison Scene everywhere you can. And share it, too. And listen. Now we're doing Killer Sofa. And we're doing Killer Sofa for one reason and one reason alone. It's mainly my fault. Our dear friend, Mary Virginia Moore, whatever her middle name is. I have a friend's name who's Mary Virginia, so...
That's funny.
It's a little inside joke.
It's what's her Instagram? It's Mary...
X...
Contrary.
Quite
or,
contrary.
Yeah.
X. Because she's a 2013 person with an Xbox 360.
All I know is her story is just the strangest memes
Yes, throw one up.
They're very throw one up. Whoever the hell's that.
But she tweeted at me on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. She did the tweet books.
And
those.
she said anxiously awaiting the Al Pacino EP on Killer Sofa for Halloween. So
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, hold on. So that was a while ago. I'm sorry we couldn't do it for Halloween.
Oh wow! Whoa! Yeah, that was a while ago.
October 10th.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, we're getting there, boys.
We're getting there.
But she sent a screenshot of that, and then the actual text is Killer Sofa, Killer Sofa, Killer Sofa, Killer Sofa, Killer Sofa. Picture, much love.
Killer Sofa.
Me.
Oh.
So yeah.
All right. That's funny.
Last episode was not a great movie.
No.
What movie was it?
New Year's Evil.
Yeah, you remember because you listened to it.
The title was better than the movie.
It was. It
yeah.
was. And you know what the title
who recommended
was.
that one?
I haven't kept up with this podcast for a couple of times.
I did. It's okay. You got plenty of
We
time.
bleeped that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris recommended it. Which I thought it was Kyle.
No.
That seems to be a
To be fair, I have recommended good movies before. So.
I don't remember that. Anyway, and I think we have another one, boys. I think we have another not great movie.
I would... Okay, it's definitely better
Did
than
you
New
set that
Year's
as
Evil.
your...
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said it as
This is my
screensaver.
desktop background.
Oh my god!
Throw the picture up.
I would say this is definitely more enjoyable than New Year's Evil.
And why don't you tell us why, Chris? Go ahead and hop into the recap.
Well, starts out with a dude getting his fucking legs cut off, and he's screaming, but the guy who's doing it is like, oh, kind of, and so
They just cut straight to furniture delivery. Right after the guy's legs are getting cut off, it cuts straight to people delivering furniture.
Yeah.
He's going to do that. That's his job. We try not to talk during that.
If you do, Chris gets really
he gets
bitchy about
really
it.
upset.
So here's what happens in the movie.
Go ahead.
No.
See, he
Apparently-
does that. He does that. He goes, no, just
Apparently I'm not doing it right.
I'm sorry. I'm just angry.
No.
I'm just angry. I had to
Well,
watch
to
this
Why?
because I watched this movie.
Me too.
Hey,
Okay,
to-
do the recap.
To be fair,
I start the recap and you interrupt me and then scream at me to do the recap.
Do the recap.
You do the recap.
do
You're
the
the
recap.
guest.
I'm tired of it. You do the
You're
recap.
having guests on this show. Fuck.
to be fair,
This is what it was like before my mom and dad got
Yeah.
hey, here's what I'll say. Definitely makes for a more entertaining episode. To be fair,
And a childhood.
I've heard. Hey, you know what? The greatest filmmakers alive have childhood trauma.
Yes.
Twinton
And-
Quarantino.
and
Tintin
we are the
Quarantino.
exception.
Tintin Tarantino.
We are the exception.
We definitely have the trauma,
Yeah,
just not the talent.
according to Freud, you basically have to have childhood trauma.
Yes.
So-
Nope, not gonna say that. All right.
You know it's bad because he censored himself, which never fucking happens. As longtime viewers of this
guys,
know,
we should be careful of cursing because my family watches this.
well, that will forever live in infamy. That comment. Go for it, Chris. What happens in this movie?
So, a guy is getting his legs cut off, right? And then we cut straight to the chair being delivered because nothing else happens worth mentioning at all, I guess. There's no one else there who comes back later. There's no one else there. It's just the guy getting cut off by air. And so, a chair is delivered to this woman, Francesca.
No.
What
He
happens?
gets delivered to the old man first.
What happens?
He gets delivered to the old man first.
Okay, maybe I was trying to keep up pace. I was going to mention the old man immediately, like when.
But
you
that
were
happens
going to-
before.
I gotta mention that an old man has a heart attack. And he's like, I'm fine, and he just walks away.
Sam, let me tell you something. If you've ever watched this podcast, immediately after the recap, I shut up for the entirety of the episode. So if you just let me get through this, you won't have to fucking deal with me. God damn.
Can you just do the recap? please?
Yeah, come on. We
Fucking
were
trying.
waiting. We waited for you to recap.
So it's delivered, but it's given to the old man instead, and the old man touches the recliner, and then he has a flashback and a seizure at the same time, and he envisions himself in a forest, and there's this lady, and this dude in the background hears a gunshot, and the lady's running away, and somebody's like, Valerie, and he's like, what? And he wakes up, and then the dude trying to get the thing is like, hey, you okay? And he was like, yeah, I'm okay, I'm just Jewish. And so he goes back home, and
He was.
that's important. And then Francesca, who was the main character of the movie, she was getting the recliner delivered to her house, but her boyfriend, who's not gay, instead picks up the sofa because she was out doing things, and she goes back home with her friend Maxie, who is her best friend ever, and also the granddaughter of the Jewish guy. Even though she and the Jewish guy have never met before, her Francesca. She goes to her apartment, and her boyfriend
I'm not interrupting you.
and her boyfriend, puts it together and all that shit, and then later, because my mind's a little fuzzy, these detectives, Grape and Gravy, show up at Francesca's house and pull Francesca in because Francesca, heard that her ex-boyfriend, what's his name?
Francesco from Cars 3. Cars 2.
Yeah,
Cars
Francesco 2. Has been murdered.
Lightning
he
McQueen.
is dead. And so Grape and Gravy are detectives, and they're like, "Hey, do you know about the dude being killed?" And she's like, "No, but I do know that I've always had bad experiences with men. I apparently seem to, cast a little charm on them, and they like me so much that they domestically abuse me." And so that's a thing, and that's what Fred.
Astaire.
What's his name?
Francesco.
Francesco.
Remember from Elf?
Okay, it's Francesca
Lightning
and
McQueen.
Francesco.
And
Yeah,
Grape and Gravy.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah.
And that's fucking gravy.
Yeah. And so
That's fucking funny.
and
That's fucking stupid.
and so yeah, somebody help me out.
Francesco. I don't know where I had the movie.
Well, okay, so after the detectives show up and tell her that, she goes home because she's got to grab this piece of furniture that was delivered to the wrong address at first, and the old Jewish guy...
Jack, I think is his name.
Okay.
I already said all this.
Oh, you said that part?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
she's...
Where did you end?
Well, because I just heard the detective part, because that happened.
Yeah, I told that out of order.
Where did you
But
end?
right now we're at the part where she's just dropped off,
Yeah.
and her boyfriend has established that he doesn't really take much of an interest in her.
Okay.
He
Which is
basically
why
she
she's with him.
basically goes away for some shit. Oh no, there's a sex scene on the recliner.
Yes, she goes
but
and sits
it's
down
weird.
on her recliner.
Essentially
It's
rubbing the couch.
it's like Velocipaster has a very not explicit sex scene, but it's beautiful. She pulls the thing out to where it reclines, and then she like fingers the hole that's there.
Yeah.
And she's like moving
also-
like that in the chair. And then
Right,
But it turns out that was a dream.
right.
Which
Because
is
she
weird.
wakes back up on the bed.
For whatever reason.
For whatever
She
reason.
wakes up in the bed
But-
like 3 times.
But it
too.
is established right before this that the old man calls his father and tells him, "Hey, I think that I came in contact with a dybbuk," which, if you don't know, in Hebrew mythology, a dybbuk is a demon that takes the possession of a dead soul. And if it's not being used on a human body, then instead stores itself in an object.
A very, very interesting
this
subplot
universe.
line is that the dad does not believe in the son's abilities. Does not believe in Jack's abilities.
Yeah,
Which is very interesting and never touched on again.
yeah.
Moving on.
So now Francesca has woken up. And she's like, "Oh, I thought that I was having sex, but I was not." And she goes into the
With the
living
chair.
room and sees that there's some cookies and flowers on the chair. And she's like, "Oh, my totally not gay boyfriend has suddenly taken an interest in me and has left me cookies." And so she thanks him and offers to make him breakfast. And he's like, "What? Cookies?" Starts eating the fucking cookies because he didn't make them. And so she goes...
But he does say that he did.
He does take credit for it, but then eats them. So yeah, but in front of her. So she goes away and does, her daily things, and then he stays in the house, and then he's cooking some stuff.
He tries to grab a cookie.
But it moves away.
Yes.
And he tries cooking some stuff, and as he's cooking some stuff,
Oven open.
Yeah, the oven is open, and then the recliner reclines, and then rams into him and breaks his fucking legs, and he's like, "Ah!" And the police is called, and Detective Gravy and Grape charge in, and they're like, "Hey, what the fuck's going on?" And they close the oven, and they're like, "Well, we don't know what happened to you, but you're definitely fucked up. Maybe you should go live at your mom's house for a little bit." And he does, and so he's there, and the next night. And he is, trying to get his pain meds because he's having to walk with a fucking walkie thing. Forget what you call them, crutch. And which is what I am to this podcast, not really.
Well, Chris, a crutch means that you make it better.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh.
So anyway, he makes it into the
gonna put you in
bathroom
pressure.
because his mommy's doing yoga and not listening to him, and so he puts the pill in, and tries to get the water, but then a spring comes into the bedroom, locks the door, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he looks out the window, and the recliner is walking. It is fucking hilarious to see it walk. He's turning and looking at him. He's like, "Oh shit, the recliner is trying to kill me." And so he closes the window, but the springs come in, fucking murders him, and that's it. And then the grape and gravy charge in. It's like, "Oh, don't know who murdered him." And help me out real quick.
Transfers his soul to the couch.
Yes. And during this time, there's like an intercut with the not rabbi, the old man, Jack, researching about dybbuks, and there's this dude who's saying, "Don't interrupt the feeding process when a dybbuk is trying to take a soul," and blah blah blah. And he's like, "Oh," and can what happens right after that?
So
I watched this last night.
After that, they find the body, and then they're like, "Hey, Francesca, you need to probably like hide away." And so her friend takes her to a hotel.
Yeah.
And Francesca is like, "Is the couch okay? Is Padme safe?
Well, because at this
is
point,
she okay?"
At this point,
She's not safe,
she has
Bella.
made contact with the couch, and the couch is suspected to be a dybbuk.
In more
And
ways
in
than
Jack's
one.
research, if you make contact with a dybbuk, you've established a link with it.
With this really weird TV
Yeah.
host.
Yeah, he's actually the best part of the movie.
He always
honestly.
does that. He puts
All
his
of
hands
his
right in front of his
poses
face
are
the
awesome.
entire time.
It's just out of the blue too. It just cuts to him and it's out. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
The next
He's like-
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
So-
you meet a dybbuk, be careful not to touch
So yeah,
it.
Francesca is talking to Max because she's staying with Max at the hotel. She's like, "Can you check on the couch? Check on the couch." And she's like, "Okay." So she goes over to Francesca's apartment. She goes to look at the couch. Oh wait, what about the creepy cousin?
Roy?
Rory.
Oh, the one
yeah.
who wants to marry
What's his
her.
name?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
What a weird sequence.
Yeah, I
What?
think.
Oh, well,
yeah,
he-
because she's leaving to go to work or something, and then he
he-
just breaks into her
Okay,
house
and
after
he-
being like, "You should marry me. You're
He
done."
puts a camera or something in something, and then
well,
he goes.
he'd already been. Had
Well,
the
we don't know
camera.
that yet.
Yeah.
The detectives think that whoever is murdering, whoever murdered her boyfriend is the same person who murdered Francesco. And so they're thinking that the murderer is one of her ex-boyfriends who was stalking her. And the most stalky guy was Max's cousin, who, right after the night her boyfriend is murdered, breaks into her apartment while she is gone in Max's hotel, and then fucking ravages around her apartment, and then takes out a hat and a bra and starts doing things to it.
And he goes,
in her
"You're
apartment.
Francesca.
You're Francesca. You're Francesca." Yeah, it's
and then we
weird.
see the recliner.
And the
like,
recliner
peeking.
creeps behind him and starts stabbing him with his springs, which is fucking funny.
No, he was hitting him with
No,
with an iron.
Oh yeah, that's
He-
right.
Which was
That's
the
right.
best part of the film.
Yeah, he hits him with an iron. Yeah, and he
Oh,
dies.
there goes the chair.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's
You break it?
separated.
Yeah.
And so at this point, did the detectives know that he's dead, or does Max finds him?
Max
Right.
finds the couch
Yeah.
dumping his
Yes,
body
Yes,
over the
which is
balcony.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's fucking
He's just
funny.
like-
So yeah.
How are you gonna do this?
So now Max is at Francesca's
Should we stay
apartment.
like this?
Now Max is at Francesca's apartment, and while she's there, she sees the couch move, and she's like, "Oh shit, this thing is real!" And so she locks herself in the bathroom, and she jumps out the window because the couch is going to kill her, and she instead just falls right into her trash can, and she stays there until the very end of the movie. And help me out real quick.
Fuck. I don't know.
I don't remember either.
She sees the couch dumping the body, and then she tries to get out of the house.
I
and
have
she
just
falls.
said that.
I-
She's in the trash.
Okay, so you go from there. Oh shit!
Oh
what
yeah.
the- what
Okay.
was happening?
Yeah.
Oh okay. So and then.
Okay.
I'll say it.
Lamborghini Mercy.
So what's her name? The main character,
Francesca.
Francesca.
Yeah. So she goes to the rabbi who has mugs gives her a mug of
Because
tea
the rabbi calls
that
her.
literally
Yeah.
says on it, "Trust me, I'm a rabbi."
Yeah.
And explains to her how to destroy it and gives her a box.
Makes
This
a
big.
box. Makes
It's
a
like,
box.
you have to
And
put the dybbuk
couch.
in the box
Oh, yeah.
to burn it.
Okay.
And it's a freaking sofa.
But
And he
well,
just starts having a heart attack, and she's like, and he's like, the
Well,
pills,
hold
the
on,
pills,
hold
and she
on,
goes,
hold on.
I'm gonna take the
Hold
Dybbuk
on,
box.
Yes.
And then his wife just all of a sudden is just like,
And then the next shot is
Alright.
him laying in a different location on the
Okay.
couch,
Hold
still
on,
reaching
hold on.
for the pills, and she's
Hold
like,
on,
"Hello." So then, wait.
hold on. Let me. There's important details you're missing.
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Can I say?
So number one,
Since this
he
is
takes
my
a piece of paper and he writes. He's like, okay, step number one.
He
he draws 2 boxes, and he's like, step number 2, and then he draws like D's in the box. Very shoddily too. Like draws a D in the box. It's like number 2, and then says we have to burn them, and then draws like lines that are like supposed to represent fire. And then he's on the couch and he's just pointing, and the pills are obviously right there. And she's like, "Oh, you need me to call for help?" Takes the box. There's supposed to be 2. She only takes 1 box and then leaves.
Yeah.
And then the wife comes in there and is like, "Oh, 911!"
But it's a different location. So he's reaching for the pills in one location, and she's like, "I'll take the box." It cuts. Now he's laying on the couch, and the pills are on the coffee table, and he can't reach them. And the wife is like, "Hello, we need help."
Just give him the fucking pill.
yeah, like it's such a weird bit, like it's so good.
Then Francesca like shows up.
Wait.
at her apartment.
We skipped something very important. The reason there were 2 boxes at all is because in that conversation, the only important thing that happened is that they established what is going on. The vision that the grandfather had at the beginning when he touched the couch was the vision of the like old soul that is within the recliner. And also there was a Dybbuk within Francesca this whole time. That's why she entices men and they go crazy over her, because she has the soul of an old woman from the 1800s who was so attractive that she was essentially, fought over throughout her entire town. And the Dybbuk soul that is in the couch, who was also in Francesco, they were lovers in a past life. And so he is trying to get back to her. So the only way they can get rid of this is to get the soul out of Francesca and the soul out of the couch and put them in the box and then burn them.
Which is why
Like,
they
do
need. Which
they
is why
know
they
this
need
yet?
2.
Do they know this yet, though? At
Yes.
this point, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay, 'cause
established here.
I did not understand that because when she was dousing it with gasoline, she was getting gasoline all over herself as well.
Keep in mind, they needed 2, and there was only 1.
Yeah, and she only takes the 1. So she completely just ignores the fact that there is a spirit inside of her. Which comes back at the end, because she goes over and then there's the final showdown where she's trying to burn the couch, and it's very anticlimactic because she lights matches like 5 times.
She lights a match, and she goes like, and then the couch goes.
But she doesn't. Here's the thing: she doesn't light the match and throw it at him. She lights the match and then
Shows
holds
him.
it for 5 seconds, and the couch goes. And it doesn't happen twice. It happens at least 5 times in the same sequence, and it's so fucking
And
stupid.
in
then
that
she
same
gives up.
sequence, she
Yeah.
tries pouring gasoline on the couch and does
And
it by
she does it
grabbing.
like-
She grabs the gasoline hose. It's like.
What was it, the Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio, where they have like a fucking like gasoline fight at a gas station? Hold on, I gotta look
have
that
not
up.
seen that. Okay,
Sure,
so
Brian.
so anyway, for some reason I'm forgetting exactly how this movie ends.
I mean, basically, what happens is, she tries to douse. The
It's
chair.
from Zoolander.
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
get those 2
I forgot.
confused? How do you get those 2 confused?
Well, I
That's
didn't
how they
like
died in the
either
end
of those
Romeo and
movies.
Juliet. They douse each other in gasoline.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
haven't
in
seen
the
it.
original, not in the original
So,
Shakespeare play.
What happens is she basically like gives up, and then Gravy comes in, shoots the
couch, and then the top of the couch falls off, and it's a mutilated Francesco who because
is missing a face.
He's interrogated the guy who does come back later from the beginning of the movie, who cuts off his legs. The Gravy was like, "Why'd you cut off his legs?" And he's like,
Why did you say this name?
I think that he wanted to fit inside a recliner.
Why just like Keanu
Because
Reeves?
that's exactly how he said it.
I know recliners.
Yeah, and so
$10.
Francesco is in the recliner. He was in the recliner this whole time, and he doesn't have a face.
and then Gravy shoots him a bunch.
Yeah, and then he dies supposedly, because
Well, Francesca goes into the bathroom and tries to open her pill bottles, and they fly everywhere.
yeah.
And then
As
she
one does.
falls down, and then out of the closet or like
Another room.
Yeah. Valerie, who's the woman spirit, pops out and like
Takes her into that
Yeah,
room.
where the
and
fuck did
possesses
she
her.
Yeah,
come
and
from?
po-
Because
and
at first I
possesses
thought
her.
it was Max.
Yeah,
Maxie.
it was weird. Like she,
Because that
for
was
the first time, the only other time you see her, she's in like an apparition type like, thing behind the couch.
But
It was
her
just like a double exposure.
her
kind of
physical
thing.
Yeah.
like corpse is in
Yeah.
her bathtub for some reason.
and it possesses Francesca.
Yeah, and so Francesca comes out and she's acting very different, and then later she is she
Well, hold on.
okay.
And then. Oh, okay.
She just acts fine. Yeah.
But then Gravy's there. Gravy's there as well. He gets possessed.
No.
She invites
that's later.
Gravy
No.
over.
Oh,
No.
he
That's
drinks
he's
the.
alone.
All right,
It's in the
hold up,
epilogue.
hold up. Francesca comes back out and she's like, "Oh yay, it's over!" And then Maxie comes out and she's got a fucking like piece of glass in her forehead, and
Yes.
everybody's like, "Francesca, are you
It's
okay?"
like- it's like
and
in-
Maxie's like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
It's like in Get Hard.
No, they didn't even
Yeah.
ask her at all. She didn't say anything.
Dang, I
They're
want
just
to watch
like,
that now.
what happened? And there's a giant piece of glass.
Yeah.
They're like, oh. And Gravy's like, he was in the couch. No mention about how there's a piece of glass stuck in her forehead.
Yeah, and then Francesca's like, "I'm so happy that you're here, Maxie." And so
As she has glass stuck in her head.
yes, and also it looks like an eyeball or something. There's like a big white ball. It's like a golf ball in a piece of glass. But anyway,
mom's a
so the
big
next
white ball.
day, Maxie is driving by Francesca's place because the grandfather's like, "Francesca's still in danger." Blah, blah, blah. And so Maxie drives by her house, and then she looks through the window and sees that Maxie has called Gravy
It's
over for
already.
celebration, and Maxie is dressed very seductively, and and she's going to kiss Gravy, but she doesn't kiss Gravy. She stabs him.
Wait,
And-
wait,
No,
can,
no, no,
can
no.
I just mention one thing? Gravy asked her, oh, so you're keeping the sofa. She's keeping a sofa that her friend was mutilated inside of.
Yeah.
She's like, I think I should just, instead of moving on, embrace it. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then, yeah.
Such a weird.
And she
explanation.
stabs
I'm just
him,
gonna
and
keep
then
the sofa.
the spirit in the sofa possesses Gravy, and then Grape comes in, and then Gravy kills Grape.
But also, there's a weird subplot where Grape loves Gravy.
Yeah, but Gravy is going through a divorce, so he doesn't like women. And so, Francesca and Gravy stroll out the apartment, and they're happy because now the two damn souls are back on Earth together. And I think that's kind of how it ends.
Well, Maxie
She
sees them
them.
leave,
Yeah.
and she goes in.
She sees Gravy snap Grape.
Yes, so
Yeah.
she sees all that happen. She sees Francesca and Gravy walk out, and then she goes back in, and she looks at the recliner, the sofa, and looks at the eyes, and there's like little white lights going in there, and she looks in,
Oh,
and there are the
it's
souls.
Francesca's soul going in the sucking place from Get Out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how it ends.
And then it just ends with like that creepy guy on the TV doing voiceovers like, the Dybbuk always wins or some crap.
Yeah.
Do we have the same phone?
And that was one of
30
the longest,
minutes.
one of the longest recaps.
Yeah. Fucking goddamn it.
For one of the least needed movies for a recap. All right.
What is this about? Kyle,
I just have notes about ridiculous things that happened in it that just bothers me.
you're a saving grace here, Kyle.
Okay. I don't have like a concise
It's about
explanation.
the Jews in exile leaving because dybbuks are Jewish. So.
Well, okay. Okay. So what I would say this is somehow simultaneously about like the dangers of over attraction. I don't know. There's probably a better word for that. Infatuation, obsessiveness,
simping.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's the dangers of obsessive nature as well as hysteria. But we'll get into the hysteria thing. This is what I'm thinking. I don't believe in ghosts. And so all possession movies to me are about hysteria. Because I think all cases of people being possessed is a sense of hysteria in a sense. So we can get into that.
You know what, Kyle?
But I thought that'd be interesting to talk about.
Maybe that's the difference between me and you.
You believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Actually, you know what? That might be the only conversation we can have out of this because there's not a whole lot more that I can say.
I have a list of ridiculous things from it.
Okay.
I believe in ghosts because I think ghosts are cool.
Jake said, I really like Iron Man, and I think he's real.
Well, that's different.
Because Iron Man's cool.
That's different. It's in the same.
You
It's in
probably
the
believe in
same
Shaq,
vein.
too.
Well, considering I have
Yeah.
2 giant cardboard cutouts, I say I do.
Yeah, I bet you believe in the moon because you think it's cool.
I like
This guy.
cheese. Well, it's the same way. Like I believe that potentially dwarves and elves could have existed because it's cooler to think that they did.
Yeah, but like, isn't it more likely that they represent a type of emotion, kind of like what we talked about
Elves?
with the leprechaun?
Or ghosts.
No, I'm talking about like elves and dwarves and stuff. Like they represent a certain aspect of humanity, and or they were just a group of people that were seen at one point, and they were different, and they were characterized due to their differences.
Sure.
And then they just lived on in mythology. Like what are they called? Like the things you see in like rivers, like in Greek mythology, like the river.
Nymphs?
No, maybe, but it's like you see they live in rivers, and they're like women, generally speaking.
Sirens?
No, it's not a siren. But anyways,
Nymphs.
Maybe it's a nymph. Okay.
It is a nymph.
All that is people seeing their own reflection in the water. And they're like, there's a person that lives in that water.
I failed.
Because you didn't have her. You didn't know what you looked like way back when because mirrors didn't exist. Reflective surfaces, the only reflective surface.
Oh, that's why. That's what happened in The Lion King.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In The Lion King, there's a nymph. Yeah. But I mean, that's the same kind of thing, you know.
Anyway, tell us about your stuff.
My first one is there's random transitions that aren't needed. Like for instance, when the old man has a second vision, when he's at the table with the lady.
Yeah.
After he wakes up, she's doing CPR, and it just cuts to him sitting up, like talking about it. They could have just cut to him talking about it, getting water. Instead, they just had to have literally, it was actually like only like 2 seconds of her just.
Oh, you know what it may be?
again.
It may be they actually had like a 45-minute film, and we're like, dang, we need to get to the feature length.
Yeah.
And like, okay, let's throw in random scenes.
And there was a lot of long shots that did not need to be long. It was like, why am I still watching this?
Yeah, the part.
You're
the
not
part where
2001: A Space
The part where
Odyssey.
the part where she goes to the cliffside. All of the shots that were there were absolutely beautiful.
I forgot that happened.
I know. They were absolutely beautiful looking shots, but they held on way too long.
Well, she goes out there for
and nothing
no
happened.
reason.
That's when she gets the phone call from the grandpa.
She walks out there to have this cinematic moment and then leaves.
That's it. Like
I
thought
they
they were
gonna like jump or something.
That's what I thought they were gonna play with. Was like she was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna jump," and I thought he was gonna call, and she was gonna be like, and he's like, "Hey, I can help you. Don't jump." But she was just like, "I need to come out here and look." Yes, plot man? Okay.
See, I love how he was established to be just like a useless character, and then he was supposed to like redeem himself, and he never redeemed himself.
And it was useless.
He became increasingly useless.
All he did was just pull an us and just be like, I know shit because I saw it on YouTube.
Yeah,
he really did. He really did. Which, to be fair, we do know things because we saw it on YouTube.
I read.
True.
YouTube.
I also
Comments.
have Francesca's like
Speaking
best
of which,
friends.
comment on this video.
Yeah.
Her best friend has his arms and legs cut off and killed, and her boyfriend's response, I think that's pretty rad.
Yeah.
What a Chad
It's
response.
like, he's like, oh, that bothers you? It's like she just found out her friend's
Well, but
dead.
he's
It's
like
the
a
New Zealand culture.
he's like a movie star or something, isn't he? He's like famous.
Yeah, this movie is from New Zealand.
He's like famous or something, is he? Isn't he? The boyfriend.
In the movie?
Yeah. I could have sworn that he was like some hot
he
shit.
had-
Oh, he was like a YouTuber who like did reviews on like horror shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then, like,
So he's like us.
what is it
Yeah.
called? Okay, for a second, can we act? Why is this film called Killer Sofa?
Also, that's what Caitlin brought up when I was watching it. Is that it's a couch?
Well,
It's a
because I
recliner.
thought it would have been better if it
might
was a
be
killer couch.
it might
Killer
be different
couch?
words.
Killer
Like
couch
in
rules.
New Zealand, the sofa might be just any like.
Also,
That
the
you saw.
poster is really fucking cool because he has like these demonic eyes and huge like teeth, and it looks awesome. And then in the movie, he looks like a teddy bear.
Yeah, that's true. Also, this director did a film about how being bald is a federal crime.
That's a movie we should watch. You better watch out.
Look at his discography.
You better watch out.
I'll shave you.
They're coming for you.
I'll shave your head.
I've already been shaved once, in more ways than one.
So the next thing on my list is after this couch stands up and Gravy shoots him, and then he shoots the couch.
Well, the head, like the thing, like flies off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what's Gravy's response to a couch that stands up? He was at the couch.
Not only that, it's this like man who's been mutilated.
Yeah.
Who's dead.
And he's
And
so
it's like-
chill about it too. He's
His
like,
face
he's just like,
is gone.
bam.
It looks
bam.
like his face like was like right here was like ripped off.
Yeah.
And he's been in this couch like in Oh It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You know, where Danny
How
DeVito's
do you
in
not
the black
smell that?
Yeah.
couch.
Yeah.
And like he like comes out. Play that. Yeah, that's what it was like, but horror.
Was that not horror?
Yeah, well, it was. Well, I guess you're right.
There's also a plot point where the old man gets the name confused. He doesn't know Nancy's best friend.
Oh, I thought it was
Yeah.
Patricia.
I thought it was Patricia.
It's so weird. It's like that's your daughter or granddaughter's like best friend.
Yeah, how
Who
have you guys
lives
never
near
met?
you.
Now,
Yeah.
to be fair, that's how it is with like football dads.
Yeah,
I'm
he
talking
is not a
I'm talking
football
about
dad.
you, Dad. They'll be like, oh, how's Billy doing? You mean Bobby? Yeah. He's getting good grades, and it's like, I don't know,
Yeah, but at least it's Billy and Bobby, not Francesca and Patricia.
but that's kind of close.
Because it's like Francesca is like, oh, I don't know anyone named that.
Yeah. So the over infatuation element. That's something that is I think like a core theme throughout the movie, right? Where the people in the 1800s, if I have the story correct, because I'm gonna be honest, I was a little lost at how they presented this, but in the 1800s there was this girl who was murdering people by poisoning them, right? Were these her lovers or were these just random people? The girl from the 1800s who was murdering everybody. Okay, I don't remember,
I
but
didn't realize she had murdered them.
with the same drink that Francesca, after she's possessed, murders him with. It's like a flower or whatever that is poison. Anyways, she's murdering a bunch of people, and I think it's because, if I'm not mistaken, that these men are like over attracted to her, and that's why
it was to
she's
stop
doing
all
that.
the violence.
She was
Yeah.
too hot, basically.
And so basically it became too much, and Francesca's grandmother or great grandmother witnessed her like slice her neck open and kill herself, right? And that happens, and Francesca says this a lot throughout the movie. She's like, every man has become like obsessed with me.
So numb.
Yeah, has become just so obsessed with me. And the reason that she's with this guy who doesn't show any interest in her at all, like at all, and that's shown throughout the movie pretty consistently. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about her, like, ever.
So interesting. People who listen don't even know what's going on.
Yeah. But she's with that guy specifically because of the lack of attention. That's how much attention she gets constantly. And I think... and I just think that's kind of interesting that, her old boyfriend, I think maybe that she had a restraining order against him or something like that.
Yeah.
Because, again, he was just so obsessed with her. And then in death, he's haunting her and wanting her to be his and all that stuff. And I think that kind of goes on almost kind of what we were talking about with New Year's Evil.
I was about to say that maybe this film is also about misogyny. Misogyny. Where it's the idea that, like, some men, incels, right, view that they have that doesn't mean anything. The guy in New Year's Evil was also married.
Yeah.
And he was an incel.
Crazy that we're all wearing the same clothes. So
yeah, crazy that these are on here.
So, yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, I think it's interesting. Like, it's the idea that, like, some men feel the need that or feel the entitlement that they have towards women's attention, and I think I don't think this movie I don't think New Year's Evil handled it particularly well, but I think it was more conscious of that, whereas in Killer Sofa I don't think it was conscious of that at all. And that's what makes it so weird to me is, like, you have this element where it's like all guys find her attractive to the point that it is obsessive and compulsive. Sure. To the point to where the cousin of her best friend is, like, telling her that they're gonna get married, and he breaks into her house, he's recording her, and he pleasures himself with some of her clothes in her bed. We have all of that elements, and we don't use that at all in our third act. In terms,
that's why it's a bad movie.
Yeah, and it's odd, and so it's hard to make any definitive judgment on what the movie is trying to say because it's not utilized at the climax, and so that's what's so interesting about it. What was the other thing that I said?
Hysteria.
Oh, yeah. So I guess we can talk about this into our closing about, I guess, spirituality. Ghosts.
What more do you have for a second here? Let's break up the...
okay. Let me see.
Oh, yeah. Break up the
reason
that people listen.
Yeah.
Well, one that I forgot about that you had just mentioned, the pleasure yourself thing.
Yeah.
He used a bra and a hat and made a little face.
Which I will say,
really
it kind of scares me how effortlessly he made the hat look like a smiley face. He, like, took the bra, like, he took the hat, with, like, chick, 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 and, like, threw it down, and it was...
Yeah.
And then
I
he
can't
jumped
imagine. And when he masturbated, okay, I don't want to get into details, but that looked unnatural.
But also, he was yelling, "You're Francesca," almost like he was trying to convince himself that it was.
Yeah.
He was hunched over like a frog and was fully clothed.
Yeah. Which, I don't know about you guys, but that's pretty much accurate, yeah.
The old man, when he talks about his father, he points to an image that's just a picture of himself. He's like, my father, and it's just him. It's just a picture of himself.
No, it's his father.
It's just a picture of himself.
No.
We already talked about the "Trust Me, I'm a Rabbi" mugs. Oh yeah. There's only one time where she actually acts like she's in love with the chair and cares about it. Just once. She goes, "Is the chair okay? Just make sure it's okay," and that's it.
Yeah, it's like the only time that we see that it's had a hold on her, like at all.
Yeah.
Like there's no like moment before that either, other than the fact that she sits.
Which is super weird.
It's.
You know what? Was this Full Moon? Who produced this?
Your mom.
Who produced this?
Oof.
Because
the yoga mom produced it.
Full Moon.
Who can't hear her son die.
Oh, I do want to say too, a dybbuk in quote unquote Jewish mythology, it arrives from the term to adhere or to cling, which kind of makes sense because it's that idea of latching onto something. But it didn't really appear until the 16th century. and it wasn't really popularized until the play, the Dybbuk. And I mean, there have been like possessions in Judaism or like Jewish historical writings before. I know dating back to Josephus, that's one I'm reading here. For example, it suggested a sloppily made mezuzah or entertaining down. Oh yeah, there are some like historical references to possession, but those are usually demonic, because it's not typically found in. Well, actually, yeah, I can say pretty definitively, at least in the Bible, and all the canonical Jewish writings, and even non-canonical ones, if I'm not mistaken, none of them actually have the spirits of people who have lived before back on Earth. That's not something that's found in Jewish mythology at all. In fact, that type of understanding of the world, that kind of dualism and spiritualism, is specifically found in Greek mythology. And it's actually the combination of that where a lot of evangelical Christians are confused about their own faith and don't actually understand any of the stuff that they read. In fact, the only notable existence of a quote-unquote ghost in the Old Testament is it's either Saul or Solomon, and I want to say it's Solomon. Solomon, there's like an invading army that's coming, and he's like scared about it, and instead of turning to God, he turns to this witch or someone like that who at this point he had already outlawed it, so he went out in the land and he found this person, and he it is, I'm pretty sure it is Solomon, or wait, no, it's Saul. I'm pretty sure it's Saul because Samuel's the one that he sees, but the difference is that Samuel comes up from the ground.
And I'm going to edit it like it's one of our other videos.
Yeah.
So in the middle of it.
So Samuel comes up from the ground, which is interesting because Samuel, as a holy figure, should be coming, from above, from the heavens. And so the idea there is that it's not actually the spirit of Samuel because it doesn't lead him in the right direction. It's not the spirit of Samuel. It's actually a demonic figure. So there are no cases of ghosts in Jewish writings. So the Dybbuk is, again, something that was created long after, and of course after the idea of the Dybbuk arose, then a bunch of possessions and stuff like that happened for the next 4 centuries or so. Wow, that's crazy. Like, okay, yeah. So ghosts didn't exist until the 16th century, obviously. No. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't think I ever really did. And maybe we can talk about that. But the idea of your spirit lingers on Earth afterwards is not found in Christian or Jewish mythology at all. If anything, that is, again, like I said, a Greek or Roman idea. And it's the idea of dualism as well, which is something that was found in Gnosticism as well, which would have been, I believe, 2nd century AD. Certainly by the 4th century AD, that was popularized. There's actually a book about it, or not about that. The history of something by Eusebius. That's actually kind of interesting. So you should check that out if you want to run down into the different sects that came out from that time. So
I'm gonna try to speed run these last ones.
Yeah, go for it.
So we have the yoga mom that doesn't hear her son die.
The Pokemon.
Because she's just what?
Pokemon?
No, he said yoga mom.
Yogi Bear.
Yogi Bear, yeah.
Yeah. And then she's like, son, I'm going to clean your room. And he's just laying there dead.
I forgot about that.
So she starts vacuuming, and there's an eyeball inside her vacuum. Now, I'm not here to argue how vacuums work. But if you vacuum up an eyeball, will it stay intact?
Yeah.
As a ball? Or will it shredded by the thing?
It will if it's magic. It will if it's...
Yeah, if you've had your soul sucked out, nice.
And that's the last time we see her, too.
Yeah. That's the only time you need
it. It's actually written in all vacuum manuals.
Yeah, to keep your eyes away because your eyeball will get sucked out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
But it stays intact, so you can just pop it back in,
right.
like the guy from Pirates.
Yeah.
When the creepy hat and bra masturbator guy, when he shows up and sets up the camera, he doesn't just put the camera, and this goes into like the thing about them trying to like put shots to make it a longer film. He puts up the camera and then he proceeds to go and reveal the router.
Yeah. It's just really weird. He just
He's
puts it
like-
on the table. Yeah.
He's like, see camera, look, router.
I didn't
It's
even
a
know
Wi-Fi camera.
I didn't even know what it was when he brought it out because they didn't punch in at all to show that it was important because it wasn't important.
Well, then
Because you
then
see what it is later and you can put two and two together. You don't need.
they
so weird,
they
man.
move into the bedroom when he does this, and again, it's just a really long shot where it's just the camera's set behind the bed as he like grabs these undergarments and proceeds to put them on the bed and have his way with them.
Yep.
The last thing I have is how small the boxes are because it's just hilarious.
Yeah, that's.
Because she's kicking the box at the sofa saying, "Get the box! Get the box!"
I forgot about that.
Get the box!
It's like not even like it can comfortably fit in the
Cassette
like on
tapes.
the.
You can
Well, I
put
think-
cassette tapes in that box. That's it.
You can fit The Lion King on VHS in there, and that's about
And
it.
Well,
she's
I
trying to get a
think-
sofa in it.
Well, I think what it is the soul is supposed to get sucked out and put in there, but I don't know how that's supposed to work.
Yeah, how are you supposed to get it in the
Well,
box?
yeah. I'm
Because
actually curious.
there's other there's animes and stuff where this is a thing too, where their souls get sucked into something.
So basically, it's like the
Um,
Ghostbusters, like.
Yeah. There you go.
Travel.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go, like that. But I don't think the grandfather made it right. Because it
Probably
it was
not.
like, there was like gaps in it and a bunch of stuff, and it was like plywood that he got from like Home Depot, but he just had lying around. Yeah, because the actual Dybbuk box is not very large at all. Like the real
I know
one.
what that is. It's kind of like. It's already like, oh.
Yeah,
This
big
guy.
O. Yeah.
All right, boys. I mean, I don't really have much more for this episode.
Yeah,
It's not a good movie.
I'm looking at
It's really bad.
I tried to look up history of Dybbuk box, but it didn't exist until like 2003.
Because here's
So-
the thing: this movie
So
is it tries to be self-aware in the same way that Velocipaster is self-aware, but it does not work. It's also every time the first time I watched this, I was like, "Yo, that's great," but every time I watch this, it gets worse exponentially.
Killer Sofa?
Yeah.
I got so.
there's some things that they did with the
Somewhere.
lighting, specifically where they changed the lighting in the shot, which I'm always a fan of because I think that's just really neat to see.
Yeah.
They do that quite a bit, and like I said, some of the shots are really, really good looking. I think whoever the director of photography was, I think they did a great job, but it's just it doesn't come together in terms of story or pacing or
Anyway.
acting is kind of iffy. But that's
Yeah,
because
this movie
Yeah.
pulled a Malignant. It started out sort of strong and it had a very interesting premise, but as it went on, the acting and just the overall execution just gradually just crumbled more and more.
Yeah, the first 15 minutes of Malignant are like really
Really good, and the rest of the movie is just a fucking shame because it should have been good. It definitely had the potential to be good.
So in the synopsis on Wikipedia, it says Jack, a distressed rabbi, comes
Oh, he's
across a
disgraced.
reclining chair, which that's not mentioned at all.
I was gonna say, I was like, I
But
didn't know he
also-
was disgraced.
The synopsis poses Jack as the protagonist.
I saw that when I clicked on it on Amazon Prime. Which by the way, it's on, so you should watch it. Just
Also,
to see it.
Tubi and Vudu for free.
Yeah, we should definitely watch the sequel.
There's a second one.
I saw it when I looked.
Well,
it
see,
up.
like the only reason I knew that he was a rabbi was when he had mugs that said, "Trust me, I'm a rabbi."
Sure. Oh, well, that makes sense then.
That's the only
because
reason-
he's
that's the only-
disgraced. So that's why that joke plays out. That's why that joke is there.
Well, we didn't know he's disgraced though. So
Right.
it
That's why I'm
lands.
saying. That's why it
Yeah.
doesn't land.
Yeah,
But if we would have known that, then it would have been like.
yeah. There
Oh,
wasn't
shit.
even like a line. Like he's got the yarmulke on, but
Like him like that.
but I mean, you don't have to be a rabbi to wear that.
Well, and the dad is like just suck, but that's not doesn't mean he's disgraced.
yeah.
I thought he was trying to prove himself, when in reality he just sucks. Which is different than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. This is an interesting one. Thank you a lot, Mary. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so.
It was.
I
So
hate you.
it says the recliner costs $100 in New Zealand dollars.
In New Zealand dollars?
Yeah, and it
What is
also
that?
says the initial title of the film was My Lover, My Lazy Boy.
Oh, that's so
But
good.
but they couldn't do that because of
Yeah.
the Lazy Boy company, which they almost got sued. And then it was called The Furnishing.
Mhm.
And then they landed on Killer Sofa. And it says Bernie Rao's the director, faced limitations because he only had the one recliner.
So you said it was $100 in New Zealand? That is less. That is $67.58.
That's a
Dude.
cheap recliner.
Yeah, in today's money, but obviously that could fluctuate whenever this was made. But
Yeah.
if anything, their currency has been inflated since then. So
Also, Jim Baltax, your name could have been so cool. You should have been called Jim Battle Axe.
you should have been called Jim Ballsack.
That would have been funny too.
I thought that's where you were going with that.
But it was distributed
Me
in the
too.
U.S. because it was a New Zealand release, direct to DVD. But it was distributed by High Octane Pictures
Yeah.
for the U.S.
You know what else they made?
What?
I don't know.
Oh,
I was
let's look.
asking.
I mean, like I said, dude, that dude, the director, made a film about 4 balding men who
Is it called
are
Ezra?
trying to survive a world where it's a federal crime to be bald.
Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
It honestly, you know what? Maybe it should be. What time are we at?
Something.
We're way
Okay.
too long.
All right.
For this one.
Wait, we have to do a lot of shit first.
All right, we got 7 minutes. 7 minutes max.
Okay, they have a phone. They have one coming out called Bobot. They have another one called Dinosaur World. Whoa, Infinitum, and it's got fucking Magneto.
Ewan McGregor.
No, right there. Who's Magneto? What's his name?
McKellen.
Yeah, Ian McKellen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the younger one.
No.
All right, like Jake said at the beginning,
Onus.
subscribe,
Union.
share this
Union
video
bound.
if you want. We have more viewer suggestions that we are working on, and they will be coming out in the coming weeks and months. Let's see. Yeah. In the meantime, you know what? If you're gonna comment, if you made it this far, just you know what? Tell Mary to never suggest another movie.
Yeah.
Do that. If you've made it this far, I want a comment about that, or email us at pachinopod@gmail.
PacinoPodcast@gmail.com.
Pachinopodcast.
I will say though, I did enjoy this movie more than New Year's Evil, and I
Yeah.
would dare to say I enjoyed it more than *Malignant*
Okay. Well, I think that's fair.
because I already knew what I was getting.
I give it
Yeah.
a disgraced rabbi out of 10.
I give it a.
One
which
disgrace
means he will rate it after we watch it.
I'll give it a. That's a nice sofa out of 10.
Yeah.
So fucking dumb.
I will
Yeah,
give
did
it a J.K. Mary suggests more
That's
movies.
nice.
That's
That's
okay. Just not this one ever again.
What?
I'll give it
Chris,
4.
you've already done it.
Did I?
I don't know.
It's okay.
Digga 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 digga
Wait,
digga digga digga.
wait. Hold on. Wait. Wait. Hold on.
Killer sofa. Killer sofa.
Are we
Killer sofa.
are we starting now?
Killer sofa.
No, don't play.
Killer sofa. Killer
Oh,
sofa.
you're lucky it's not working.
Yeah, don't.
Sofa.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
Killer sofa. Killer sofa.
Ooh.
Killer sofa.
All right.
Killer sofa. Killer sofa. Killer sofa.
Y'all ready for this shit?
Killer sofa. Killer sofa. Killer sofa.
I'm broke without
Sofa.
a penny, and some say
Killer
that I'm a
sofa.
loafer. You can call me Chris because I don't
Killer
prefer the
sofa.
topher. Gophers, I whack my meat while lounging in the lazy boy. It's crazy boy, and I beat it while I watch driving Miss Daisy boy. My brain is so dismantled. What I say is insane till it get canceled. Hansel and Gretel got a kettle on the stove, getting kinda hot like Big Pinfield. For me, it's loathing. I gotta make a recap without no ring. What I'm gonna say, but I do it anyway, and I don't get paid at the end of the day. I'm gonna get laid by my wife. She's nice. She makes me lunch and it's weighing in my tummy in a big bunch. Now I'm sitting in. Now I'm sweating and straining. Now I'm sweating and straining cause I'm hunched over Jake's toilet seat cause I took a shit in it.
Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, planes, trains, and fucking
I want to go home.
fucking stout and sauerkraut or
Stout
whatever
and
the fuck.
sauerkraut.
For whatever the fuck.
and sauerkraut.
Sam!
I'm done.
You have to say it.
Everybody thinks
Done with
Sam-
you.
You have to say it.
What do I have to say?
Stout and sauerkraut.
Sound sauerkraut?
Stout and
Sour
sauerkraut.
sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut?
Yeah.
Sauerkraut?
Thank you, Sam, for being on the podcast.
Thank you,
for
Sam.
doing something for us
podcast
earlier
and
today.
making
Or
me
no, I
myself
think you
even
mean
more than
several,
I do.
like,
Nobody's
2 or 3
Yeah.
weeks
Yeah.
ago.
I will kill myself.
It has nothing to do with
Last
these
year.
things.
Last year.
Yeah.
We
Happy 2022.
Merry Christmas.
No.
Happy holidays!
Happy Hanukkah.